When you started your company, you wanted to make just enough money to stay broke, right? I mean, who wants that, right? Nobody wants that. So this guy messages me on Twitter and he says, you know, you sure talk about money a lot. You talk about money a lot in your tweets. You talk about money in your all your social media. I said, man, this guy's really following me here. I mean, but that's great. I said, that's great. But he says, you know, money won't make you happy. And I said to him, well, you know, not making money won't make you happy either, right? I've tried being broke and busted. It was a disaster of an experiment. Wouldn't you agree? Hey, how many have been broke, right? How many know that having money is better than not having money, right? Yeah, right? I mean, that's a given, right? How many know that this is a prospecting tool, your phone, right? I mean, this is, if you're still doing business like it's 2009 in a 2016 world, things need to change, okay? I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to tweet this. Take a picture. Now, let's see how long this takes. Let's see how long this takes. Conigliaro. Now watch this. How long did that take? A few seconds, right? 87,000 people, plus or minus, are going to see that tweet today. Okay, you want to be everywhere. You want to take massive amounts of action. Okay, it's not enough to just say, well, people in my little town know about me. No, you want people everywhere talking about you. Today I want to talk about taking massive amounts of action. Okay, there's 4 quadrants when it comes to taking massive amounts of action. The first quadrant is no action. How many of you guys know no action? Right? I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to make any phone calls. I'm going to wait for all the business to come to me. I'm really not going to do anything to put myself out there. I'm just going to wait for it all to come to me. How many of you know no action? How many of you know people that take no action? And then they complain that business isn't coming to them, right? I like to call that taking massive amounts of action, but towards the negative, right? You know, everybody's taking massive amounts of action, but some people don't do anything with it. Here's the second thing. Second quadrant is taking a normal amount of action. Okay, that's just kind of going through the motions, showing up to work. Oh, I work 9 to 5. I'll call this customer if I have to. You know, normal amounts of action. How many of you been there? How many ever feel like that? I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Third quadrant is taking average amounts of action. Now, average, now this is interesting because it kind of gets a little subjective here. What do I mean by taking average amounts of action? Okay, what I mean is whatever I think or whatever you think your market's doing, the guys that are in your industry that you're competing against day in and day out, you're thinking, I'm probably going to take the same amount of activity towards my business as they do. So we're going to call that average. Now, why? Now, who here wants to compete with their competition? Who wants to compete? Do you want to compete or do you want to dominate? We want to dominate, right? We want to crush it, right? You know, you got to take pictures with your customers. Take your picture with your arm around your customer, saying this. Send them the link to your Facebook page. Send them the link to your Twitter account. Then they're going to start following you. Then all of a sudden they get hooked on you, right? You want to keep your customers addicted to you. They're like, hey, I just text my customers every now and again saying, hey, we just put up a new car gallery. Maybe your car is on. Maybe a picture of your car is there. You know, 9 times out of 10, it's not their car. But they're like, oh, maybe he's got a picture of my car. You know, because these people, they love their cars, right? They wouldn't hire us if they didn't love their vehicles. So they feel like, hey, they're part of your show, right? Keeping your customers addicted to you is huge. How many of you know that you got to cut through all the noise? This is a noisy world, right? You got to cut through all that noise. I know some guy says to me about 3 weeks ago, we were doing one of these. This guy says to me,